CloudTrade's rule system, getting the document ready. Before explaining how the rule system works, we need to explain in more detail exactly what it has to do. In other words, what does the rule system have to work from when it starts? What does it have to succeed in doing when it ends? And what facilities, apart from a rules engine obviously, does it have available to it when it's running? The rule system is part of CloudTrade's Grammaria system. Grammaria, therefore, is responsible for the environment within which the rule system operates. Grammaria is CloudTrade's workhorse, with hundreds of microservice instances running in the cloud, processing thousands of documents a day. So let us consider what Grammaria has to do before the rule system runs. CloudTrade's business proposition is low touch, which means that for you tell your customers to send their documents to us instead of to you. We sort it all out, and then we email, transfer or push the results onto your end system, finance or whatever it might be. That's great for you, but a challenge for us, because your customers are not always going to send us neat little packages with one document, one file, one email. We're going to get all manner of things, like huge emails full of all sorts of different files, like PDFs and Office documents and so on. Sometimes even the body of the email can be a valid document, where what we're after might be within zip files, inside other zip files, inside of forwarded emails and so on. And there'll be all sorts of stuff in there that we'll have to ignore, not just your business documents. And even then, when we've pulled out all the relevant files from one email, some of those files will contain one document, but it might have many pages. Some of them will have many documents spread over many pages, perhaps separated pages. And sometimes the file won't have documents at all, just supporting documentation which we might need to refer to when we're processing your actual document. It's even possible for a single page in a file to hold many documents, each of which should be independently processed, like in this example here, 4 invoices all on one page. Our rule system operates on one document at a time, so Grammaria has to sort out all of these multiple page documents with perhaps multiple document pages before the rule system starts. At least before the rule system proper starts, Grammaria actually uses the rule system in a sort of mini way to try to figure out where the document page breaks occur in multi-document files, and where multiple documents per pages are happening. And that's all done by invoking special rules on each individual page. It's called a page classification rule, and it's written specifically for the file being examined, since different files will have different page breaks. Which begs the question, of course, what rules get run for which files, because even the page classification is individual to the sender of the file. We clearly aren't going to run exactly the same rule system for every different sender that sends us a document. I mean, we could, if we wanted to, have a set of rules that handled everything, but it makes for a very complicated set of rules, given all the variations you have to handle. So what we do instead is organize our rules according to the supplier of the file that we're processing for you. Once we've identified who that is, we use the corresponding set of rules. Note that supplier doesn't equate to supplier in the invoice sense necessarily. It is in fact the name of the rules which is associated to a document sender. So how do we supply who that sender should be? We decide who that sender should be. There's an initial setting made before the file is looked at, which allows us to set it from things like the email data, like the from address or the to address, or perhaps even the subject. But sometimes, not infrequently actually, when this isn't all we need, the rule system itself can determine the supplier by basically examining the file itself, the contents of the file itself. It's called classification of the systems, but we weave it in together with our rule system, because that allows us to make use of all our rule system power when we make our classification decisions. Which almost gets us to the point where we're ready to let the rule system do its data capture job. We've got the right pages for the documents, we have access to any subsidiary information that might have arrived with email, we can access the pages of the other attachments that came with it as well, and we have identified who the sender is, and we therefore focused onto the right rules for that supplier. And that just leaves one thing, which for us as rules writers is a bit of a pain in the neck to us, but you normally don't have to worry about, which is extraction. Extraction is the process by which the text in the source document is turned into something that can be used by the rule system. It's generally all done by Grammatica behind the scenes, but there's 2 points to make. Whatever the layout of the source, Grammatica organizes it as pages of lines of text, and if OCR has taken place, which we generally don't recommend because we think of it more as optical character guesswork, then we pass all the OCR data, including its alternate guesses, through to the rule system, which at the end of the day has actually been built to handle those alternatives, even if it rather didn't. And that's it. With all of that done, the rule system is ready to roll.